Oh, it's live, pal.
The following contest scheduled for one fall.
The cream of the crop. Nobody does it better.
You never came looking for me to prove that you're the baddest. So, I've come looking for you to prove you're not.
All over the country, people have been asking me, why, Eddie, why?
Week after week, trying to make me look like a jackass.
Lately, he just hasn't been very oozy. I'm home.
This ain't no disco. Ain't no country club either. This is the 3 Count Thursday podcast. So let's go, baby.
Chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe.
Hello, everyone. Welcome 3CT. We are live. It is Thursday, March the 20th, 2025. We're glad to be back with you. Apologize again for being off last Thursday, but make sure you are following along with us on all of our social channels at 3 Count Thursday across the board: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Blue Sky, Twitter, TikTok. You can also get our merchandise over on our T Public store. We would certainly appreciate the support if you want to go over there and grab some of that merch. I'm sure there's a sale going on. If not, there will be another one coming on shortly. So make sure you do check that out as well. Devin already checking in with us on the comments. Yeah, we had a good week off. I'm feeling much better myself. And Charlie says, make sure you apologize to Devin for being 7 minutes late, and don't we dare get off topic. That is true. That is true. Mark's already on this shit. So we'll go around the room. No Matt this evening, but the rest of the gang is here. We'll start with Ryan.
Hello, Smokey.
No, I fucking unmuted. What are you doing?
Every week. You just did it again.
I was trying to unmute you.
He's upset.
And then you muted you.
You have no clue what's going on with this podcast, and it shows. You are just as absent-minded as that old fuck Ovi. I just gotta.
My God, you're a big bitch!
Well, that's true. True. At least we landed on something we can both agree about.
That is true. That is true. But,
Smokey.
I'll play this just for Mark.
I knew it was going to be a special week for me when Smokey ran up and jumped in my arms.
Yeah, it's a special month when that happens, possibly a year.
Yeah, no kidding. It's my recovery time.
Man, he jumps in your arms.
When Smokey
There's no place you'd rather be.
Well,
what about when smoke gets in your eyes, though? That's trouble.
Oh, don't start that. Well, Mark, you're already talking, so.
You all right, sir?
Are you all right, sir? I'm sorry if I've upset you, but I think I know what's wrong with Smokey. Tim, he's been having wicked dreams of leaving Pennsylvania. I believe he hears Santa Monica. I swear it's calling Smokey. It won't make Mama Smokey proud. Quite possibly, Tim, it's going to cause a scene.
Touch it in the back.
He said he'd like to, but when she sees her baby boy, I know she's going to scream.
I'm going to touch that body.
God, what have you done? Smokey, you're a pink pony girl, and you danced at the club. Oh, Smokey. Smokey, you're on the stage in your heels, and you just want to have some fun down there at the Pink Pony Club, Smokey.
She's a good bitch.
Smokey's going to keep on dancing. Where? At the Pink Pony Club.
Jim, you bastard.
Smokey's going to keep on dancing. Tim, at the Pink Pony Club. Where's that park?
Yeah.
Down in West Hollywood.
I have a question about testicles.
He's going to keep on dancing. Tim, I'm sorry that upset you, but Mama Smokey ain't happy either.
Jim, your sound effects are just encouraging this.
Yes, and I love it.
Grab
Let's
this
sit
by
around
the reins and let's get it to Tim. Devin's getting upset by the minute.
Tim,
Devin is up. You all right, sir? Yeah, I'm good. How are you, Jim?
God, now you muted Tim.
I didn't mute Tim. Who muted Tim?
Touch it in the back, Tim.
Nope.
He's muted.
Ryan, stop it.
We're revoking Ryan's access. You need
I
to pull him.
I didn't do anything.
That's Smokey.
You're not allowed.
That's got to be Smokey.
You got to go.
This guy down here is doing a ton of bullshit, and you're blaming me.
I knew it
Mark
was going to
doesn't
be a
have
special
access
week.
to do that stuff.
Mark barely knows how to get on StreamYard himself.
That's a fair point.
He ain't lying.
Fair enough.
Charlie, you need to keep that stuff out of the comments, my guy.
Nobody
Mark,
wants
go
to
ahead,
hear.
read that out loud, Mark.
Eat it from the bark, not touch it from the bark.
Yes, that's
Sure.
that's
Bark.
that's
Is that what it said? Bark.
No.
yes, that's what it said.
No.
Eat it from the bark.
I'm good. I'm underfed. I'm grouchy. It's the worst.
You're hungry. What happened, Tim? Why aren't you eating?
I am. I'm just significantly eating less because a medical professional told me that I should.
Oh my God, you're a big bitch!
Working on it.
That's what all of our doctors tell us when we go visit them. They just
you don't get to talk about what doctors tell people.
That's a good point, Jim.
Mister, I don't, and you know who absolutely can't? This motherfucker
I was
right
gonna
here.
say, I have at least been to a doctor since the start of the new millennium. In fact, I was at a doctor a year and a half ago. So, Mark
And
has,
no, that doesn't count. Everybody go to the doctor if you can financially afford it. That's the thing.
You should probably check it.
I'm not going to tell you to go. While I'd love for you to go into debt to stay healthy, I'd rather you didn't.
Right.
But Jim, I know you got a job that's got insurance. You want to know how I know that? Because Ryan works there and he does it.
yes, and you know other people that work there, and they also have insurance. So
Exactly.
I do have insurance. You are correct.
I can say that for at least one of the places here. Your place of employment cares about its employees.
It does. I will absolutely sing the praises of my super secret science job. They absolutely do care about their employees.
And in case you want to know where Jim works, he works at Big Lots.
And they care for their employees.
Now, Mark, what was the bullshit I saw you post that Ocean State Job Connection or whatever the hell it's called bought out Big Lot stores?
You need to read the article. Not all of them, Jim.
It's just 12 of them in Pennsylvania.
This is how rumors spread.
Okay,
Rumors are spreading. Okay, when
I thought I'd go to the source here.
Well, that's your first mistake.
Yes.
If Mark had his way, they'd all be buried.
You ain't kidding. I was at the one in Ephrata last week, and when it's second to last day in business, and boy, it was sad. And I sent the picture, and Mark sent a laughing emoji.
Yep.
Good.
Because he is proud that stores are dying and people are losing their jobs. But Mark, I have a more important question. There was a video that you posted on social media channels yesterday with, I believe it was Nakamura's music.
I don't want to know. I don't, because it
sounds racist already.
No, there wasn't anything racist. It was just
No, there was. He was playing a Japanese wrestler's theme. He was being sneaky, and he stole a bowl of rice.
Oh, is that what it was?
It's racist as fuck.
Mark,
Jim, how did you miss that racism? It is drenched in it.
I saw it late at night, so I don't.
My man out here trying to give Hillbilly a run for his money. By God.
Because Mrs. Big Jim asked about it, and I couldn't see inside the bowl. Maybe that was you can't see what's in the bowl.
It's a mystery what's in that bowl.
You a big bitch. How you miss what's in the bowl?
You can't see inside the bowl.
It's not
Two
chocolate.
of us could.
No,
I didn't see the video at all, so I'm gonna pull it up now.
One of us did, not naming names.
Jim, if I like
there's the contents of the bowl. It's at the very end. Mark,
That man out here
Mark,
My
you
man's
can't
out
be
here
posting that.
sneaky.
You can't be posting that, Mark.
What was in the bowl? I don't remember.
Rice.
Mark, it was rice.
Rice, like Rice Krispies.
No, like rice, like a bowl of rice.
I don't think it was rice because I wouldn't be. It was a cookie dough.
Was it rice pudding?
It could have been rice pudding.
With
But if I
raisins?
like their
rice
race,
subsidiary.
how is that being racist?
Either way, it's racist and stop.
It's
No, it's not.
racist.
The rice are
It's
here.
racist. Devin says we can go off topic as long as we want. He said, "I'm glad we're here together on the Thursday."
Well, that's it for us tonight.
Devin,
Goodbye, everybody.
Look at my heart.
Tune into a special hour and 45-minute edition of the Tuesday podcast.
Where this week we'll talk some wrestling.
We have some wrestling to talk about tonight, actually, right?
We do. We have some wrestling to talk about, and we will start with the news.
What was in the bowl?
No, we're not talking about the bowl anymore.
Jim,
Mark.
I don't even remember how old that video is, but that was under the random videos from random things from random years.
You need to
That was
watch
not-
before you post that shit.
You need to double check your content there, Hottenstein.
But that wasn't recent.
Things are a little bit different.
Yeah.
That may have
Yesterday's
been
price is not
post-COVID.
today's price.
No, absolutely
Mark's
not.
still living back in the Attitude Era.
Yes.
But in the news this week, Brie Bella has hinted at the possibility of joining her sister Nikki Bella back in a WWE ring after Nikki made her surprise return at the Royal Rumble in Indianapolis. Speculation has begun growing about whether or not Brie will follow suit. Speaking with Foothills Focus, Brie addressed Nikki's return and left the door open for her own potential comeback. She said, I'm grappling while Nikki is grappling some girls this year. You never know. I might join her. I have a few tricks up my sleeve." However, she did emphasize how content she is with her current life, adding, "For the first time, I'm very content in life. I'm exactly where I want to be." Following the Royal Rumble, Nikki did make it clear that her return was not a one-off, leaving fans to wonder if the Bella twins could reunite in WWE once again.
Now, Jimmy, there's a lot to unpack there. First of all, weren't you thinking about moving to the Foothills because of the name?
No, that is a lie. That is a lie.
You're going to go to the Finger Lakes instead.
That's right.
Jimmy McFingerbang.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite places to be.
My finger can go inside.
I'll be darned, Smokey. And what do you do with that little thing then?
You don't want to know.
When I slip my finger in the lake?
Whether in the Finger Lake, or I think you're talking about olives.
No, you don't put your finger in an olive. I'm not even gonna plug myself.
You plugged yourself.
No, he didn't.
I'm not even gonna plug.
You're not going to. You left it unplugged.
Yeah, well, you usually should leave it unplugged. That's
yes.
Right.
No judgment. No judgment.
Right, to those who like to plug.
Up.
Either way, no judgment.
They should have left the Big Lots unplugged.
Oh, come on, Mark. You stop that.
But it's not all Big Lots, Jim. It's about 12 of them. Okay, we're going to Maryland and Delaware and more stores in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, yes, down in beautiful Seaford, Delaware.
Yes, we're coming to Seaford.
Beautiful this time of year.
Oh, breathtaking. Now, where is Seaford?
It's right along Route 13.
Oh, get ready. It's going to do a big business there.
And then
Tim,
I think
you're gonna call
Dover
that-
as well, the Dover store I saw.
Yeah, but it's going to be Dover and Seaford. Now, Tim, the one in Seaford will be known as a beach store.
Man,
What's
that's
really
a good
crazy
one.
about
I
it,
forgot about those things.
you get a $50 crazy deal, Tim, just for
I knew
buying it.
exactly.
So it's like getting
When
it for
Tim
free.
went hyper focused down there, I knew exactly where that was
I
headed.
should have been paying attention to Tim more.
I was trying to get that loaded up for the Brie Bella thing
Val, we
because also
You would never.
no one asked for that beautiful woman to come back to wrestling. Nobody
That's
asked for
Susie.
Nikki either.
No,
But
I did.
That's fine. No, you didn't. You asked her to show back up on your social media feeds, not wrestling.
That's fair. Well, I need her on my wrestling because I don't spend as much time on social media as I used to.
Maybe you should, because depending on who you ask, wrestling sucks.
Oh, how about it?
Yeah,
Did I say that?
I'm not saying any.
That sounds like something I would have said.
It might have been.
I didn't say anybody's name.
But
But
No, for real. Did I fucking say that?
not
No,
yet.
I did. No, okay.
Not
Not yet.
today.
Okay.
He was too busy touching it in the back.
No, Mark, but that's God. You can't just
You're supposed
fucking.
to eat it in the back, not cut it in the back.
You can't just
Fucking
force.
pen it down.
You just can't force it on us like this.
I'll
Why do
wrap you
have
with my
cane?
cane.
Oh my God.
You pencil neck geek.
Oh my God.
Because I'm going to put my hands on you.
I am. When I find that son of a bitch, I'm going to put my hands on him. I don't care how many there is. There isn't enough of us. Bring them on. Come on, Tim. All I need to know is if there's more than one. I want to know that Tim Taylor's got my back.
You better ask another one.
All I need to know.
There's a whole bunch of us on Facebook.
That Tim Taylor's got my back.
I'll find
right
somebody
now.
on Facebook.
My hand is reaching out for your hand, Tim Taylor. And I just need to know if there's more than one you got.
My hands are full.
On our Tuesday show this week, we pulled some hot takes, WWE hot takes, from the Instagram account. No, not hot cakes, Mark. From at Van Vliet WWE on Instagram. This is not the Chris Van Vliet. This is just a guy who's trying to get some extra
Mark,
followers.
what was his name?
Van Bleep. That's what we have to do to you when you say bad words on the show.
Only on Tuesday.
Good Lord.
You leave his crunchy language alone.
But I found another video. We went over some from one of his videos. We're gonna go agree or disagree. We have 15 WWE hot takes.
I would like to start by saying I agree with this topic.
Okay. I like hot cakes with butter from McDonald's.
Number one, AJ Styles' Def Rebel theme song is actually pretty good, but not as good as the original.
There's not a single Def Rebel theme song that's better than an original. And it's definitely not better than his TNA song. So
but he just said that his AJ Styles one is actually pretty good. While not better than the original, is still pretty good.
He's talking about the new AJ Styles theme being better than You Don't Want None.
You Don't Want None, right? With the churchy organ in the beginning.
You know, his old theme was so good that they switched back to the first one.
Right. Yep. Yeah, this is a disagree. If it says Def Rebel attached to it, it's not good.
Well, how will you know who's wrestling? Isn't Def Rebel the one that's always like Styles right before the music starts? For like every single wrestler. Like,
pretty much.
B-Fab, and then B-Fab's music plays.
Didn't Def Rebel, he was the guy that wrestled in ACW for a while, right?
No, stop that.
Stop. Number 2, Roman Reigns is already in the WWE Mount Rushmore conversation.
Conversation?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not a conversation, but that's fine.
Yeah, I think he's on it. I would say he's on it.
Yes.
I was listening to a podcast. I was listening to a podcast yesterday in which
okay, nerd.
One of us listens, one of us does market research. There were people who were saying that Roman Reigns is not a top 25.
Oh, that clip that was played on that podcast?
Yeah, and then I'll go further as to say that like the host of that show went on to then continuously slander him as by not making him number 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but now we're talking about that podcast on another podcast, so they did their job.
I suppose.
Not really, because I didn't name names.
Yeah, but we're talking about it.
But it was a clip of a podcast.
Jim has seen it. The clip of a podcast
podcast
on another podcast. It's a ridiculous claim.
It is
ridiculous.
We're waiting for Mark to do something slightly off color and somebody pick up on that and us get a little bit of a rub. It may not be the rub we want, but we're hoping for it.
Right. It'll probably get us some followers anyway.
Anyway, disagree.
Hard agree.
Wait, hard agree that he belongs in the conversation. Yeah, hard agree. My apologies.
Absolutely.
Number 3, Logan Paul is good for the WWE business and is a great in-ring and character worker.
Hate it. Agree.
Yeah.
Not a hot take. Get out of here.
Yeah, I agree with what he said though. Number 4, Shawn Michaels is not the greatest WWE superstar of all time, but he is the best overall WWE performer of all time.
Hard disagree.
Read it again.
Shawn Michaels is not the greatest WWE superstar of all time, but he is the best overall WWE performer of all time.
Disagree.
So you agree he's not the best, and you agree that he is not the greatest performer either.
I disagree that he is the greatest performer.
Right, so he is not the greatest performer of all time.
No.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I agree with Van Morrison's take.
I agree with that as well.
All right. Next one, Dominic Mysterio.
I mean, Tim, who would you make the greatest performer then of all time? Shane McMahon?
He's up there.
The best in the world.
It's been a while since we heard.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. Nice. Here's this Greg
Hamilton. Yeah. Wonder what he's doing now.
He's problematic, right?
Oh, was he problematic?
He was at the Super Bowl.
Shane McMahon.
I forgot he was problematic then. Fuck him.
Number 5, Dominic Mysterio will be a multi-time world champion.
Disagree.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, disagree.
Multi-time is where it loses me.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he may get it one time. A real quick time.
They gave him Money in the Bank. That would be exciting.
Thank you.
Sneak it that way? Absolutely.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
That's what Money in the Bank is built for.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm sick of I could do a lean 15 on
sick
fucking
of like top guys being Money in the Bank winners. Yeah.
Or dudes, I think here's my spicy hot take.
Ooh.
If you've ever been a world champion, you should not be allowed to compete in a Money in the Bank ladder match.
Love that.
Yeah, 100%.
Never.
Yep.
Not at all.
It makes it exciting when the stakes are higher.
Right.
Yes.
It's a star builder. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that's an opportunity
Yep.
to, there's that word again, to put the title on somebody and see if it's gonna work and change their career.
Like Otis.
There you go.
Or Damian Sandow.
Well, he didn't win, Mark.
Oh, but he should have. Well, then he did, but
number 6, we don't like the guy, but Hulk Hogan is on the WWE Mount Rushmore.
yeah.
Agree.
Yes. Yes.
Sure.
Yes, I also agree that we don't like the guy. Number 7, Carmelo Hayes will never win a WWE World Championship.
At this rate, agree.
Yeah. I'm going to disagree with that. I still think Hunter can see potential. I mean, Hunter was booking him in NXT, right? Or was that Shawn Michaels at that time? I think Shawn and Hunter are close enough that Hunter would have seen the potential there. I'm going to disagree with that.
Yeah, I'll disagree. It's not a great start. I'll agree to that, but I think there's still potential.
I mean, Dominic Mysterio didn't have a great start, and we all think he's probably good for one.
This is true.
He ain't lying.
Number 8, WrestleMania 40 is the greatest wrestling show of all time.
Disagree.
God, that's such a shitty question.
I don't know because it really checked a lot of boxes.
It's almost unfair for me to answer because it was my first WrestleMania. Like
Yes.
it's in a different realm for me.
I don't think it's going to go down as like being a super historic WrestleMania. Like I think when people think of WrestleMania, no one's going to be like, "Oh yeah, 40 as the first thing that pops in their mind.
No,
I was at it, and like when I talk of WrestleMania, there's one number that comes in mind
17.
as like 3 actually.
Oh,
the
shit.
one that
17.
like is the spectacle of all spectacles.
Yes. 3
The
was
one
phenomenal.
that started it in my mind all. I know it was the third one, but 17 is another one I would have put in my mind above 40. So
19.
19 was big.
19 was good.
No, not 12.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I will always place 40 in a special spot just because it was my first one.
31 was a really good recent one as well.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good manias in the past decade.
That's true.
Jim always remembers the first one.
That's right. That is right. Number 9, striking finishes are always better than grappling finishes. Finishers, sorry, striking finishers are always better than grappling finishers.
I'm going to disagree.
Hard disagree.
Yeah. Definitely will disagree with that. Number 10, I Quit matches are the most predictable matches WWE has.
I've got to disagree with that.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when they go to the 2 out of the 3 falls, well, like we know we're getting to the 3rd fall for sure. Like,
I mean, to that aspect, right. That one's fairly obvious. I don't know. That's tough. I don't know if the WWE currently has a match that's more predictable than another.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Also,
either.
I can't remember the last I Quit match.
Wasn't that with Roman?
Roman and KO?
And KO, maybe?
At a Pandemic Rumble? Was that an I Quit?
That wasn't I Quit. That was Last Man Standing.
Ah, that's right.
Because Roman got handcuffed.
Handcuffed and almost didn't stand up in time.
He didn't. The ref stopped the count.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get the handcuff on. They couldn't get it off.
You want to quit?
You want to quit?
Yeah. It might have been Pandemic at some point. I feel like there was one in the Pandemic.
I remember JBL John Cena. WWE.
You want to build a snowman?
I'm looking it up.
The Rock and Mankind.
That wasn't the last one, though.
No, can't be.
No, that was a good one.
I mean, it's possible.
Was that Halftime Heat?
No, that was at a Rumble.
That was the empty arena.
Yeah, it was an empty arena.
God, can they bring that back?
Halftime Heat.
Give me
Cody
one.
Rhodes, AJ Styles, Clash at the Castle.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's right, because Styles was handcuffed to the top rope and Cody got the steps and AJ just quit to avoid getting hit by the steps, which I actually fucking loved as a way to get out of that match. It's like, why the hell am I going to?
You know what? Then that's an absolute disagree, because that was a finish that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, so I will disagree, because that was a new finish to an old match.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. John Cena is like the king of the I Quit match.
Really?
Yes, Tim. He gives and gives and gives.
You're part of the reason he's upset.
He had one with JBL in 05. He had one with Randy Orton in 2010 or 2009, Batista in 2010, The Miz in 2011, and Rusev in 2015.
What a great match.
Great.
Which one?
Yes.
That one. Number 11, Braun Strowman is in the WWE big guy
no
greatest of all time conversation.
No.
Agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh.
Definitely.
The Choo Choo Man?
No.
Is there who's having this conversation? And in my mind, it's a 2-man conversation between Yokozuna and Andre the Giant.
Right, and yeah.
Like it's not even a conversation.
We've been podcast for almost 11 years, and we've never had the conversation.
Well, what about Bam Bam Bigelow?
Oh, Bammer's
over
good.
Yoko?
No, Yoko. I'd probably put Yoko at 1.
Hey, guess what? Next week we're going to talk about the greatest WWE big guy.
Here's the problem.
Got to be up there, and
when you start talking
Kim,
about
we'll let Nia Jackson.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's a fine line. There's big man, and then there's tall man.
Yes.
People put The Undertaker in the big man conversation because he's almost 7 feet tall.
He's in the dead man conversation.
He's a big man.
Yeah.
I would not classify him as a big man.
It took 10 and a half, almost 11 years, but we're going to do it.
Unreal.
Number 12.
That one might be the one that actually ends this fucking podcast because I feel like we're going to be super opinionated on this.
We are. That's going to be fun. Okay. Tune in next week. Goldust / Dustin Rhodes is the most underrated wrestler of all time.
Who?
I wouldn't say the most.
Goldust / Dustin Rhodes
is the most underrated WWE superstar of all time.
Most underrated, yeah, most underrated wrestler of all time.
Disagree, Tim.
Yeah, I disagree. Like, I think. I mean, when you talk Goldust, I mean, I think Goldust is one of the better characters in company history, and it was because he was a good worker that made it hold up.
How do you define underrated? Like, underrated never won a championship. Underrated didn't get the flower because Piper never won a championship, but Piper is regarded as one of the greats. So I don't think anybody would ever say Piper was underrated, but Piper wasn't given the accolades he deserves.
Yeah,
that's tough. I feel like my guts to say disagree, but I can see that there's probably a point to that.
I mean, I think to a degree he is probably underrated because people look at him more as a character, Goldust, than they do as a wrestler. But I think he is a really good wrestler.
I mean, I think R-Truth is a really good wrestler, former NWA champion. Just gets his comedy gimmick, and he's great at it. I wouldn't consider him underrated.
By the way, speaking of R-Truth, I know it was a WWE 24 documentary. They also just posted it to the WWE YouTube channel within the last week. If you haven't watched the R-Truth WWE 24, it's really, really good. Really good. I highly recommend it. Next one. Obafemi will never win a WWE World Championship.
I'm done answering these guys' fucking questions. I'm done. You know, he had me until he wanted to talk about the good goddamn name of Obafemi.
Tim's upset.
I'm big upset.
Big man.
They took Big E from me. Leave me Obafemi.
I mean, so you disagree with this?
Obafemi is going to be a 5-time WWE / World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, the WWE would rip off the 5-time gimmick of another black wrestler.
Yes,
that's exactly what they would fucking do too. I agree. He will be. He will be.
Yeah, champion. Yeah. So I disagree with this one. 2 more. Mark, brace yourself. Get that cane ready. Jordan Grace will main event a WrestleMania at some point in her career.
No.
Yeah, I don't think she'll main event WrestleMania. I think she may have a title match at a WrestleMania.
No.
Mark.
Not a main title.
Mark, put it away.
Intercontinental United States all day.
I agree with that. I think she will. We have a 2-night WrestleMania. She absolutely will main event a WrestleMania.
It's going to happen. Yes.
No way.
Yes.
No.
Yes. It's going to happen.
The only way that happens is if she wins a Royal Rumble. Never.
That can happen too. I knew there's going to be a special day when Smokey jumped in
I think she will absolutely win a Royal Rumble.
Y'all are fucking drunk.
You know what? Let's write it down. It's going to happen.
Go ahead, write it down. I will eat my John Cena hat if that happens.
All right, good. What I said, good.
Good.
All right, and last one, AJ Lee will never return to the WWE.
Disagree.
I disagree.
Yeah.
Her birthday was yesterday. Did you wish her a happy birthday?
No, I don't know her.
Why not? She's a nice
because she's a married woman and I am a married man and I have no business meeting new people, no new friends.
That's true.
Oh, is that what happens when you get
Mark?
married?
I did see you wished Shotzi Blackheart, or just regular old Shotzi, I guess, a happy birthday.
Yes,
recently too.
She's a sweetheart.
No, she's a black heart.
Well, Tim, we don't use those words in 2025.
Since John Moxley and Cesaro, way before Gargano, there was Savage and Roddy, and Saturdays on NBC. These five guys on Facebook are gonna take a hard look. Recount Thursday brings to you the wrestler on the week.
All right, we are at week number 11 in our Wrestlers of the Week. I have no clue if there's anybody who should be the People's Champion. I haven't even looked at that site. So if you are, cool. Congratulations. Throw it in the comments if you're here. But let's we'll kick it off. Mark, why don't you give your nominee for week 11 in Wrestler of the Week?
That's this week, week 11.
Week 11, this week, right now.
This week I have Jordan Grace.
For what?
Her outstanding performance on NXT. She came out dressed like Patrick Starr.
She did. She did.
It takes a lot of talent to walk and shoes that high, Tim. She could have broken an ankle. She could have fell down and been hurt.
My head goes up, your mouth goes shut.
Brian, go ahead.
I'm going to go the winner of the main event of AEW last night, punching her ticket to go to Dynasty. I'm going to pick old Megan Bain.
Her.
All right, I'll let you slide. Her. I thought you were going to say the plumber.
Who?
The plumber.
T.L. Hopper? Oh.
Moxley. Tim, the only way people will talk about him is by pulling stunts like he pulled last night.
That was a sick fucking bump.
Dude,
That was
wild.
Like,
they had to do something, Jim, because their main event the week before
this version, just, let's put that on the
pay-per-view.
We're gonna put that on the warming burner
okay,
for
that's
a minute.
fine.
We'll be back over there in a second. We'll put that on the warming burner because
all right.
We'll talk a little AEW here in a second. Tim, who is your wrestler of the week this week?
It's a tough week.
It's an excellent question.
Great question.
It is a great question.
Great question.
Great question.
Great question. Smokey was doing fun.
I'm gonna go with Trick Williams, man.
Yeah.
Whose house?
Trick Williams had a fantastic showing at NXT in the underground, beating up Native American DJ Eddie Thorpe.
Ooh, he can't be saying that, Tim.
That is what they classify him as on NXT television.
I'm talking about BJ.
Who?
Is he having the stroke? Is this
maybe?
I'm calling.
Did Mark do a racism a second ago?
No, heck no.
When because didn't he do like the swerve thing when Tim brought up Trick Williams?
He said,
"Yeah, isn't that what they yelled about Trick?"
No,
I feel like that's what they yell about Shane Strickland.
Yes, Swerve Strickland.
Yeah,
Swerve. I was thinking of. I know the fans love yelling that.
Right.
They
yell whoop that Trick.
Yeah. Different
That's
human
what it
beings
was.
entirely, Mark.
Whoop that Trick.
There you go.
Remember? And then with Shane, with Strickland, they do the yeet thing too, right?
Yes.
Is that right, Mark? Am I getting it right?
Yes, they do the yeet. But and then some fans say no yeet, Tim. That means they don't like it. But the fans that like them go yeet. Tim, you had a big bowl of Yeeties this morning, didn't you, with milk? Skim because the doctor told you not to use whole.
I'm going to leave.
Now, honestly, Tim, you don't look like A whole milkman.
He's not
If
a whole
you drank
milkman.
milk, I would guess you were a 2%er.
He's a 2%er.
As most people should be, yes.
I'm a 1%er.
I'm a no percenter.
No, I need more fat.
I have downgraded to skim milk now.
You might
We
as well drink
used, to be a
ice
skim
water.
milk. We used to be a skim milk house. We're now a 1% house. If you're a chocolate milk fan, Promised Land chocolate milk.
Now the land is with a D, promised or promised land?
Promised with a D.
With past tense.
Promise.
Yeah.
So no longer promise.
Yeah,
It is the Promised Land.
Oh, it is the
It's
promised
probably
land.
been broken.
It is
Tree was broken.
unbelievable.
Is that whole milk? I assume it would have to be whole.
It is a thick, creamy, silky.
Gotta be whole milk.
Oh yeah, it's definitely whole milk. It might be beyond whole milk.
I
It
thought you were
might be
talking
like
about
chocolate
Jordan.
half and half, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Put
It-
chocolate in half and half. I want to cut my chocolate milk.
It is wonderful. You can get it at the Weiss Market
White.
in Lidditz, Pennsylvania.
Beautiful liddits.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Jimmy, when you were describing that milk for a minute, I thought we were back on Jordan Grace talk.
Stop that. My super wrestler superstar.
My super wrestler of the week.
My West Florida.
Jesus,
It's spreading. Wait questions.
Wait questions.
Wait.
Oh,
Pandemic.
My
I have wait questions.
I almost did it again. My wrestler of the week. I almost called it superstar of the week. Are the Street Profits, new WWE
I knew I
SmackDown
missed somebody.
I,
God
missed
I
that
knew
too. I knew someone won a championship.
Tag Champions.
Oh, championships matter.
I almost put John Cena for telling the fans like it is on Monday in Brussels.
Oh my God. Are you
That was good.
are you falling into that trap?
Hold on,
Big
we gotta
Jim.
let Mark put the stamp on the wrestler of the week.
That was your wrestler of the week.
All right, there we go. What do you mean, Tim?
You falling into a trap that was a good promo?
I fucking loved it.
I liked it a lot.
It wasn't on AEW, so I don't like it. I'm Tim.
I'm going to
It's
tell
not
you
like that at all. I don't know where the fuck
not.
any of that came from.
I know,
That was
right?
the worst. That was the worst attempt at a Tim I've ever done.
The most balanced of all of us in terms of our wrestling enjoyment, and I get called out for being an AEW honk.
He
Well,
goes, "Boo, I'm Tim.
you are the AEW honk because you're the only one that watches it.
Oh.
Matt's not
I
here.
watched like an
so-
hour of it last night.
Okay, you don't
Oh.
gotta fucking lie.
I did. I turned it on during the horrible John Moxley versus Etch
Oh.
match.
Well,
Wasn't that bad?
It wasn't good. It wasn't good, Tim.
The match didn't need to be good. It was building to the spot that everybody's fucking talking about.
And it was a good spot. It saved the match, but it stank. I didn't like it. It wasn't a good match.
It wasn't the main event. What do you expect?
The women killed it. Great main event.
Yeah.
I
But
watched a ton of wrestling this week. Shocking.
what?
I had no problem with that match.
Oh, I didn't.
I didn't either.
Oh, I had the two forward WWE guys in another ring. I don't like that. I'm Jim.
That is
See, that's what
nothing.
you sound like.
That has nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it.
Dean Ambrose would have never done that back spot on the fucking board.
But there weren't even gimmick nails.
So last week,
A biscuit is better in TNA.
wait, you think I watched TNA?
Not that type of TNA.
Mark gets it.
All
So
right.
last week we were going to do what it's something that I was
I've
going to
always
call.
been more of an F&A guy.
I was going to do something I call Point Counterpoint with AEW. What was the pay-per-view they just had?
Dynasty.
No, that's the
Begging,
one coming up.
I'm begging you guys.
Wait, Revolution was the pay-per-view they just had. Look, there's a lot of things in my brain right now, Tim. I asked for a little bit of fucking forgiveness, despite the fact that I actually have the words AEW Revolution results written on the screen.
Well, you
right.
saw that and thought that was NXT R Evolution, and you were like, wait a minute.
Oh, that's true. And then my brain got confused. But because we're
no
kind of a week behind, and you can tie it in to Revolution or just the product in general, because there's been a little feud. We'll let people in behind the curtain a little bit. Tim, very praiseworthy of AEW, says it's a very good product as of late. Revolution, very good. And Mark basically had this to say about Revolution.
It stinks.
So we're gonna go point counterpoint. So Mark, let's just say AEW for the last month. What's your opinion of the current AEW product, Mark?
The whole thing sucks.
Okay.
Well, then I did, but there's a few bright spots, but for the most part, lame, lazy booking.
Okay, lazy booking. That's what.
Can I get an example?
There you go. Can you quantify a lazy booking, Mark?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they didn't need to have that Etch and John Moxley match again because that place stunk up the joint the first time round.
Except you did because of what they did on the pay-per-view.
Oh, it was terrible.
So
they brought
it was better than the pay-per-view match.
Yeah, all right. It was better than the pay-per-view match.
Okay. So it is better than the previous match. I rest my case.
All right. All right. So Tim, you are more on the AEW is doing really well right now. Can you give us an example of something going well in AEW right now?
AEW's presentation of their live events is hands down better than it was 6 months ago. They have adjusted the venues that they run in. Every building looks full. Every crowd is hot. And the cards they have been putting on since maybe 3 or 4 weeks building into Revolution have been stellar. Even like average stuff is really good.
I'm gonna add a caveat here. So to everybody's point and or counterpoint, I want to give my interpretation of what I'm hearing.
Yep.
If that's okay. What Mark said is, I don't like new things. Change scares me. What Tim just said is kindergartner better at macaroni art in first grade.
Okay. All right.
Both are valid points.
Mark, do you care to respond to Tim's point at all?
Yes. So I enjoy that they are running smaller venues now. They don't look so defeated on television.
What I'm hearing, backhanded compliment.
What I'm hearing is Tim 2, Mark 0. So,
and
so far.
The rowdy crowd, I enjoy when it's silent during, especially Ricochet promos, and you can hear the fan yell out something really funny. That happened a few times with some wrestlers. Moxley was doing a promo, and somebody yelled, "Go back to Roman," and it was as plain as day. It was hilarious.
So I just a little sidebar here. This current version of John Moxley sucks, right? Like,
yes. Sorry, Jimmy.
And I'll even like let Tim let Tim speak on this because I think he's probably the most like loyal and tuned in AEW watcher of the four of us here. Because like the again, I'll be the first to admit, seldomly over the last few months have I watched AEW. Have I watched really any wrestling? I'll be brutally honest there. But I feel like when Moxley's on the screen, I'm just like, I don't understand what is happening, and this guy seems awful.
Tim, let me jump in. This is absolutely not the worst incarnation of John Moxley or Dean Ambrose or anybody we've ever seen. Case in point, Mitch the Plant.
Oh, look.
It is not worse than that.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't John Moxley. That was Dean Ambrose. And that was horrible. And Gas Mask Dean Ambrose.
I don't believe there is a version of John Moxley that is worse than anything we saw with Dean Ambrose. Shield included.
I would say Shield.
You said he was the third wheel of the Shield and the weakest link.
I mean, he was.
You had to elevate him.
Than whatever this is.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
He was the only singles champion in the Shield.
Tim, I'm not sure whose side you're on right now.
No, there's not a weak link if it's 3 equals.
But but right, Tim, this is a bad Moxley, right? Like this is a bad form of John Moxley.
Mox is great.
Okay.
The problem, there's a method to this. The problem is not the person. The problem is the Death Riders, which is an extension of him.
Right.
But it is mainly a problem with AEW. Like, the Death Riders is the only bad thing going on in AEW right now. And the reason why it sucks so bad is because it is monopolizing the main event.
Right.
This angle was the hottest it was when they literally tried to murder Bryan Danielson.
Yes.
That's the start. The start is we're gonna do a murder on pay-per-view.
I mean, that's what this has to end as, right? Like, we have a guy going through a fucking bat of nails on TBS.
Yeah,
like, somebody's going to pull out a gun and shoot somebody, correct? That has to be the next logical progress. Or a knife, stab somebody, get a stabbing.
Rikishi going to run somebody over?
At least a taser?
At least the nails meant something because Edge has been teasing that spike bat for months.
Yes.
Yeah. God, that was a gnarly fucking spot.
Edge.
The way I can explain AEW right now is WCW 1998.
That's not a good spot to be, is it?
No.
It is. 1998 WCW was the best year WCW ever had.
No, I thought you were talking about like November, December 1998.
No, I'm talking off the heels of Starrcade 97.
Okay.
The undercard is lights out.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, like I said, I watched about the last hour last night, and everything besides Cope versus Moxley, I enjoyed. I thought it was a really good.
And it is a problem with the Death Riders. And I have a feeling now what I want and what I think AEW is going to do is going to be two different stories. I think they're going to pivot and they're putting the title on Swerve at Dynasty.
I'd love that.
I want them to try to salvage what's left of the Death Riders and do it at All In.
Okay.
But in doing so at All In, it means you have to get through Dynasty and Double or Nothing to get to All In.
And do they do that like Worlds Collide or whatever? Oh, Forbidden Door or something?
Forbidden Door is later in the year, I think.
Don't open that door.
Because All In's a little earlier this year. All In's July 12th this year.
Yeah, and Forbidden Door 2025 is in August.
Okay, because that used to be like a June, I thought.
All In is in July.
Yeah, July 12th. It's a month and a half earlier this year, and it's in Texas.
I think Philly is the right spot to put the championship on Swerve. I mean, there's a ton of history there dating back to his indies in like CZW and some of the first championships he's ever won. I think the Philadelphia crowd would pop tremendously.
Yes.
For Swerve Strickland being crowned in the first ever pay-per-view in Philadelphia for AEW. It's the first, I guess, Pennsylvania pay-per-view for AEW.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a huge deal. I think it's the time to do it as well. Unfortunately, I hear what you're saying. I think Philly makes sense for Swerve though.
Even beyond the location, the pay-per-view makes sense. Dynasty's where Swerve won his first AEW title.
That's a good point.
So it is Swerve's pay-per-view, essentially.
Big Mac finally checking in.
Hey, Big Mac.
Madness.
Hello, Big Mac. We'll
March
talk
Madness.
AEW. I have no problem with Swerve winning at Dynasty. My only gripe concern with it is if we have seen the Death Riders through to this point, then their conclusion needs to be they came in like a lion. And for Swerve to be the guy to just take the title is
They got to finish
less
strong.
than. I want them to finish strong. But there's also something to be said about them desperately needing to pivot off the Death Riders. The Death Riders ain't working.
Big Mike says, I think Spike should be the next AEW champ. Mox quit after that suplex. Yeah, that.
I mean,
that was,
from the Blackpool Combat Club came the Death Riders, correct? Or did they just kind of rename it? It's the same group, right? Plus Pac?
Minus Danielson plus Pac, yes. And plus Marina Shafir.
And Shafir, okay. And Danielson's kind of like, wasn't he like their manager for a bit?
He was a competitor.
Oh, okay.
Regal was the manager.
Regal, that's okay. That has, I mean, it's been a few years now we've seen that, right? I don't know how long the Shield was around, but I feel like Death Riders have been around for like 3 years now, or 4 years.
The Shield was only a couple of years, right?
Shield debuted
29 WrestleMania
Survivor Series, the Survivor Series before WrestleMania 29. So end of 2012.
And they were done before WrestleMania 31.
Right, because they had a match at 30. It was the night after Payback 2014.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Because Plan B?
Yeah, it was Plan B.
The Blackpool Combat Club debuted March 6th of 2022. So we are over 3 years of these guys as a group. Again, with the name change, and plus or minus a little bit. But we've seen this run its course for 3 years. That's a pretty long run for a stable in the in professional wrestling.
The difference is that, like, while the Blackpool Combat Club and the Death Riders have similar MOs, Mox's whole stance has been, I'm going to burn AEW down and rebuild it in my image. There is nothing they have done on television since the bagging of Bryan Danielson that leads me to believe that they are making anything in any image of anything.
Right.
And like, yes, Charlie, you're dripping with sarcasm. And I agree with you, the Death Riders thing sucks. However, there are at least half a dozen other stories that are being told that are greater than the Death Riders at least a ×2 clip. What they're doing with MJF, fantastic. What they're doing with Hangman Page, fantastic. What they're doing with Mercedes Moné. Tim Taylor, 2025, speaking positive of Mercedes Moné.
I hope you warmed up before making that stretch. You'll pull a fucking muscle.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Explain why I'm making a stretch.
If you wanted to say what you just said about Tony Storm,
she was next on my list.
Absolutely would believe that. 100%. I believe putting the talent and the caliber star of a Mercedes Moné and putting them on your B title, to me, is the most asinine thing I could have. I still don't wrap my head around. I can't get it. It makes zero sense to me. That's like if the WWE were to sign Kenny Omega and make him their universe or their United States champion. That's ridiculous. He's Kenny fucking Omega. He belongs at the top of any card. And the WWE would get rightfully dragged for doing that. But we give a pass because it's AEW. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so then you absolutely hate the fact that Kenny Omega is the international champion.
There's nowhere at the top of the card for Kenny Omega in AEW.
And where was Mercedes's spot for the top of the card when she came in?
When she came in, she's
Yes.
Mercedes fucking Monet. She belongs there.
And Kenny Omega's Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega didn't just come to fucking AEW, Tim.
Okay, then let's not even use him. Bob Lashley. Bob Lashley, multiple time world champion.
Recently
Guaranteed.
coming off of a burner in AEW or in WWE when they picked him up, or had he cooled into WWE before he was let go?
Mercedes Moné was off of national television for like 18 goddamn months.
Japan. You fucking smart
She
Mark
wrestled
knows
one
that.
time in Japan. Then don't give me Japan shit.
And everybody was so excited, and she's the best wrestler in the world. The WWE fumbled her so fucking bad, she ran to Japan.
She left WWE on her own devices.
Here, have the silver medal. You're so great. She's a belt collector. You're fucking collecting B fucking level belts.
Sometimes titles don't make people. Sometimes people make titles. The TBS championship at that point was in shambles. After Jade,
named after a fucking television show.
It's named after a network.
What the fuck ever. Oh, the Blue Bloods Championship. The Belt Bad Apple Armor Championship.
I'm sorry that we can't just say the television championship anymore. That we're actually trying to be creative and broadcast who the network is for the TBS or TNT. I think it is.
Fuck out of here. That's creative.
It is. It is a way to say a television title while also being synergistic with the brand you are working with.
The WWE did it, but they just called it the United States Championship and not the USA title because they run the USA Network.
No, that's not.
That's ridiculous.
But everybody knows that the United States title is a historic title dating back to the NWA before the USA Network was ever a thing.
The new championship in TNA wrestling, the Destination America Television Championship. So creative. Look at that.
No, but they've got a digital media championship, and what the fuck do you think that is? The internet title.
And that's okay.
You got a problem with the digital media championship?
Ridiculous name for a championship.
You can't just go to the least common. I'm sorry that not every company can have the Intercontinental Championship, okay? The Intercontinental Championship, by far and away, is the greatest mid-card title in the history of all mid-card titles. But you can't have the Intercontinental title on AEW and TNA and Major League Wrestling. New Japan had an Intercontinental title, and they got rid of the motherfucker.
But isn't that why AEW came up with the international title?
Yes.
Right, I like that.
Because it was the continent, or it wasn't the Continental. What was it called before the All America title? The All American title.
Oh.
Terrible.
Yeah,
Was it the All American title?
That doesn't sound right at all.
What did the international
value do you can get at fucking Wendy's?
What was the title called before?
What I came up with. This I did like this. When I came up with this.
It's the one that Orange Cassidy had.
The All Atlantic title.
Yes, international, infinitely better than that name too.
The All Atlantic title leveled up. Actual verbiage. It leveled up in a partnership with the Shazam movie when Orange Cassidy won the title and it became the international title.
It's not a good sell.
Mark, wait, I didn't catch that. What was that, Mark? I didn't hear that.
This is back. I'm not saying AEW was good then.
Tim,
but it was good then because that was the CM Punk era. At the end of the day, my problem with a lot of people who have negative things to say about AEW is they are stating their they're stating their basis of AEW television on what they saw the last time they watched 3, 6, 9 months ago.
That's fair.
Just like people in WWE are like people who left WWE. Like the last thing I remember was 2010 WWE, and 2010 WWE sucked dick. There's no Rock, there's no Stone Cold, there's no nothing. It's just John Cena and Batista doing whatever, and a bunch of underlings underneath doing nothing, whatever.
Charlie asked,
name one what WWE is doing right now. With
name
John
one
Cena
person that's
and
come
Cody
out.
Rhodes.
What now?
Isn't that what the WWE is doing right now, though, with John Cena and Cody Rhodes?
No.
Just replace Batista, put in Cody Rhodes. That's what we're seeing here. And I think today's WWE. I think today's WWE is much better than 2010 WWE. I think AEW today is much better than AEW 6 months ago. Tim, I will absolutely give you that. My problem is the people that left 6 months ago aren't tuning back in today to see Jon Moxley and the Death Riders and what they're being given. They're just not. They need to figure out a way to get those people back in mass before people give a damn again. That's the problem. I think 9 months ago, they lost a bunch of fucking people. Hey, I tried it. It was really cool for a year or two. For 3 years, I was a fan. Cool, we saw some people. And then it's just like, oh, we're starting to see the kind of the same thing again. And boy, it's just not my flavor of wrestling or what the fuck ever. And they've not come back yet. I don't know what hook is going to bring them back. What do you do to bring them back? Tony Storm?
There's nothing you can do.
Well, then you're going to go out of business.
You're not, because Tony Khan has way too much money to just throw it away. And as long as Tony Khan is okay with losing money, this company will stay afloat.
He ain't lying.
You're talking about a family that owns an NFL team.
I understand that, but I mean, I guess you get tax write-offs for losing money. Like, is that going to be enough? Like, that's bad business then. That's just bad business. You can't look at AEW and be like, yes, this is great. This is a great business.
Their company is valued at over $3 billion.
The Cons?
No, AEW is valued at $3 billion.
No way.
Yes.
That's got to include like TV.
It is.
Of course it
That's
does.
how valuations.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how valuations happen.
Their TV money.
Right, WWE's valuated at what it is because of the Netflix deal. Yeah, that's absolutely part of it.
Right, you take away a $2 billion Netflix deal, $100 million fucking CW deal, a $50 billion deal with the Saudis.
WWE's just a fucking India. They're just GCW then.
Right, exactly. All right, real quick in the comments, because I actually do want to get to this Mania card prediction before they actually start finalizing matches, and then the topic's gone. But Charlie asked, name one person that's come out better since working with Mercedes.
Harley Cameron.
There you go. That's a good answer. Jason asked, Jim, was this what you were looking for in this segment? Absolutely. It's content. It's good content. So yes, absolutely, 100%.
Thanks for sitting through the AEW content, Jason.
Big Mac says it doesn't help that Mercedes' best feud has been Harley Cameron since she's been there. Yeah, and that I think that's part of it too. I think the top of the women's card is great. I think they've lost sight at times of the maybe the middle of the card. And then Charlie says,
how do you lose sight of that when the fucking middle of the card champion is Mercedes Moné? How do you allow that to happen? That's my question.
I mean, how does WWE allow like tag team wrestling to go completely unnoticed when you actually have
great question?
You know what I mean? There's booking issues in multiple companies.
Not saying there's not. This was an AEW segment.
It's true. Charlie said they'll set up a match against Athena and Mercedes will go over, so she'll have another meaningless belt to prance around.
Athena's going to take the title off of Mercedes so Mercedes can go and work Tony Storm. And if you're not seeing that, you're drunk.
And that's where Mercedes Moné belongs.
And she does organically. And now with a reign like Mercedes has with this title, it then elevates the title to a different level. so that when it gets passed to the next person, Athena, who is already an established person, they can continue to raise the stock of said title. So that when whoever beats Athena has a title worth carrying, instead of wrestling for the title. Hell, and no offense to these ladies, they're absolutely fantastic. But the title holders went from Jade Cargill to Chris Statlander to, I believe Julia Hart was the third TBS champion, and Julia Hart was a fantastic champion, but nobody knows who she is, and the title lost its cachet. So then it went back to Stat. I believe it went back to Stat, or it went to Willow. I don't remember who. And then eventually it went to Mercedes.
Correct.
Who had beef? It was Willow, because she had beef with Willow because Willow was the one who injured her in New Japan Strong.
Nope, can't bring up Japan. Remember, that's your own fucking rule.
It was in America.
Charlie, I see you just writing a slew of AEW slander. You can bring that back next week. When
it's probably not slander.
When we have more time, it probably is. Let's be honest. That's Charlie. Charlie's very good at that. But
Jesus Christ, Charlie, I tried to give you benefit of the doubt.
I do. I love you, Charlie, but it is what it is. All right. We've been trying to do this topic for a couple of weeks. We keep running long. We're gonna run long tonight. We're just doing it. But
hold on, I like this one.
Jesus. The chick
that's Harley Graham.
Yeah.
That's Harley Graham. It's different.
Completely different, Charlie. All right. We are 30 days out. Mike says Athena, the woman who should have lost the ROH World title 1,000 days ago.
To whom?
I agree. Athena should be in AEW, not just isolated to ROH. I agree with both of you.
The reason Athena's in ROH is the same reason why Chris Jericho holds the ROH title. They're trying to put somebody with credibility on the brand as the main champion. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work.
You know when they didn't need to do that? When ROH was actually fucking ROH.
Yeah.
You don't need to have people with fucking...
ROH is a completely different ball of wax.
ROH used to actually have a TV deal. That wasn't behind a fucking paywall. That's part of the problem with Tony Khan presenting Ring of Honor.
I have nothing positive to say about Ring of Honor.
Right, like the problem is,
I think that's part of my AEW problem too, because I've always enjoyed Ring of Honor. I've had fucking big ass stack of ROH DVDs. I've always enjoyed watching Ring of Honor, and what Ring of Honor is today, it sucks. I'm sorry. Can we
drop AEW Contingent or whatever the fuck that show is and put Ring of Honor back on TV?
No, because Collision's actually good.
Is it? Jesus.
Yeah.
What was the other crappy show that they had? Is that still
Rampage? It's canceled.
Okay. Can we get a TV deal on some sort of network and put Ring of Honor not behind a paywall? Like,
you didn't hear it from me, but they've been talking about getting a TV deal for about a year now, and they just the last time Chris Jericho was the ROH World Champion, when he was the Ocho, there was TV talks then.
Oh.
Then they silenced. Jericho lost the title. Then he wins number 9. Why does he win number 9? Because there's TV talks.
Work for me, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, but put Ring of Honor on TV, like, please, like, because here's the thing, I'll never watch behind a paywall, ever, fucking ever.
No.
Well, good luck finding True TV somewhere.
Well, I can just type that.
Places carry True, don't they?
I get True on my super box.
You also get like Ethiopian weather on the super box.
Yeah, and it's
gonna TV carries True, doesn't it?
Think calling for rain in Ethiopia.
All right. Okay, let's like I said, we'll hold your AEW comments. Fire them back in next week. We'll hit the
email your questions. Email your questions to 3countthursday@gmail.com.
Also, pay attention to our social media, because we're gonna create a fucking voicemail. We used to have one. We're gonna create a new one.
That was fun.
You can send shit in. I just have to remind myself to do it this weekend.
You just got to talk to me and we'll get it set.
Here's the deal. And cap those fucking calls at 60 seconds. We ain't listening to a diatribe of you bitching about AEW.
Absolutely not. Lean, mean, and not racist. So, Mark, don't dial in. All right. So, this is where I'm at, though. We're 30 days out from WrestleMania. There are 4 confirmed matches on the card. We have the Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the undisputed WWE title, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the WWE Women's title, Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight title, and Io Sky versus Bianca Belair for the Women's World title. So this is what I have mapped out of how I think the WrestleMania card is going to shape out the rest of the way. I've put matches on particular nights, not necessarily in any order. So I have the World Championship and Women's Championship matches on Saturday. Yes, Ryan.
Who's Seth freaking Rollins?
Oh, he did lose the freaking, didn't he? That's on me. Did
he?
Yeah, he lost.
Yeah, they dropped the freaking from Seth. They dropped the big from Bronson Reed.
And there was another one.
There was a third one. There was a third one that they dropped like the nickname.
There was a third man.
Who was it? In the comments, somebody say it because I know somebody knows it.
Yeah, somebody's got it.
Devin's just chomping at the bit to chime in here.
According to where?
According to
WWE
Wrestling News Sources with the Z.
Yeah, I also saw it and did zero research and went to the WWE site, so I might be dead fuck wrong.
Is he still Seth freaking?
It was Dirty Dom. Dirty Dominic Mysterio was the other one.
That was the other one.
So they're not named that, but they're still named that.
Their WWE profile on the WWE website used to say Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah.
And now it just says Seth Rollins.
Correct.
It's said Seth Rollins for a while now.
It's said Seth freaking Rollins for a while.
Yeah, he used to be listed on the website as Seth freaking Rollins, and it was listed as Big Bronson Reed. It was listed as Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Now they are just on the site as their human given name. But anyway, so this is where I think we are going with the remainder of the matches that haven't been confirmed yet. I have an Intercontinental title match, Braun Breaker versus Penta. WWE Tag Title, Street Profits versus DIY versus Legado del Fantasma. Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. And Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. That wraps up WrestleMania Saturday. Is there anything that anybody sees on WrestleMania Saturday that you don't think will actually be the match?
The WWE tag titles.
You don't think? What do you think? Well, first off, do you think the WWE tag titles will be on a WrestleMania night?
Yes.
Yeah, WrestleMania SmackDown.
Right. When I say a WrestleMania night, I mean either Saturday or Sunday. So who do you think will be the match, Tim?
It'll be Street Profits, DIY, and the Motor City Machine Guns.
Okay.
All right.
I'd be fine with that. I know from this past week, Legado del Fantasma was like they're kind of in that sphere. And I thought they've
spiritually relevant.
It could also be a 4-way ladder match.
Could be, right.
Because I was thinking that they were going to do a ladder match for the Intercontinental title, but I don't think that's the case anymore. I think it's going to be straight up Penta. It doesn't appear to be.
It definitely looks like Braun versus Penta after this past Monday.
Yeah,
because I originally had like Braun, Penta, and a few others.
Kaiser, Finn.
Jim, the only thing I like that. I know you're just you said you randomly put Saturday or Sunday. If the women's IC title's going to be up for grabs, I would probably slide that Jade and Naomi Saturday. Or one of the two to Saturday. So there's two.
Okay, yeah,
that's
a good point. To balance out.
That's a minor.
A bit.
There's a women's United States title that's still out there and out and about.
Yeah, but I feel like that's going to be on WrestleMania SmackDown.
I couldn't even tell you who the women's United States champion
still
is
Chelsea
right now.
Green.
It's still the only person that's been the champ.
It's Chelsea Green, bro.
Oh, I
mean,
think
like,
she
I
deserves a
don't-
WrestleMania moment.
I don't know
later
who
on.
her opponent would be. So my only, as we're getting closer to it, and we have, I think, 4 episodes of SmackDown left until WrestleMania. Are we going to are we I know I put it on the card, but are we actually, can we get to Solo versus Jacob in that time?
Yeah.
Or is that a later story?
We can, but should we, Jim? That's the thing.
It's the greatest non-answer I've ever heard.
I feel like Jacob I hate to use the word needs, but like I feel like he needs to be on the card. And I don't.
It should be him versus LA Knight
for the US title.
It should be, yeah.
Mark,
But I
what's
feel
that
like
catchphrase LA Knight says?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like we'll get that. Let's look at WrestleMania Sunday, and we'll kind of talk a little bit there. So I have the Cody versus Cena. I have the women's world title, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair, and I have versus Rhea Ripley in parentheses, because while not official yet, I feel like it's we're pretty sure that it's going to be a 3-way for that. Then I have the U.S. title, LA Knight versus Jimmy Uso, women's intercontinental title, Lyra Valkyria versus Raquel Rodriguez, Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton, a 3-way match, Roman Reigns, Seth, freaking or not freaking Rollins versus CM Punk, and then Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Anything there that you think will not happen or should be different?
Lyra and Raquel.
You think that'll be a Raw after Mania or something?
I think it'll be before.
I think before. Okay. Yeah, because I know Raquel won the #1 contender spot. And they haven't mentioned it since then, I don't think, because she's also one half of the women's tag titles, because we don't have enough women, so let's just have a women's tag champion also competing for a singles title. But that's a booking problem. So if that happens before, do you think the women's tag titles get on the card? So Liv is on the card?
Against who?
Not a clue, Tim. I'll be honest.
Who are the women's tag team champions?
It's
Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You gotta have
Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross.
Now you're
talking. Got it.
Who?
This is called bridging the gap from segment A to segment D. It's Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus the Bella Twins for the women's tag team titles.
Stop, I can only get so erect.
The bigger they are, the harder they come.
Yeah, I'm here for that. Give me that. Absolutely. Sign me up. Yeah, but no, I agree with you, Ryan. Now looking at it, I would move either Jade and Naomi or the women's IC with how I have it, just kind of
make
balanced.
that women's tag match a 3-way versus the returning Iconics.
Oh man,
now you're talking.
They're doing something in an indie somewhere, right? And I saw that
Prestige.
Yes,
Are they really? Oh, cool.
Well, Peyton Royce showed up, and then she said something. I saw a clip where she's like, "I'm not gonna show up alone" or something, and she has like an iconic friend or something that she'll bring along.
Iconic.
Yeah, so that should be pretty cool. Yeah, so missing from this card, and I'll get to some of the comments then in a second. I have Chelsea Green, the women's U.S. champion, off the card. The women's tag titles obviously missing from the card. The world tag titles, the War Raiders, I feel like they'll defend against the Creeds or something on Raw after Mania. And then there's some other names that are missing from the card. Now, some of these could certainly appear in segments, but Bayley, Sami Zayn, The Miz, Nia Jax, Braun Strowman, Alexa Bliss, Judgment Day, Rey
It's gonna
Mysterio.
be Chelsea versus Bailey for the U.S. title.
I would love that.
Okay, yeah,
I'm all
I'm
right
fine
with
with
that,
that.
too.
And yeah, if that takes the place of the women's IC, I'm fine with that as well.
Or no, it's gonna be Bailey. It's gonna be Bailey versus Raquel. Sorry, I'm dumb. Bailey's on Raw now.
Oh,
So just Bailey versus Raquel? Just
Raquel will be the Intercontinental Champion.
oh, gotcha.
Going into Mania, and she will face Bailey.
The old switchy do.
Gotcha. Okay. I've heard some rumors Alexa Bliss and the Wyatt Six may have some an interaction, something at Mania.
They need to do something.
Yeah.
they've
So
been quiet.
the buzz is that Bo has been hurt, and that's why the Wyatt Six have been very quiet since being silently moved to SmackDown. So yeah, would love to see that pick up some steam. And honestly, at this point, like we're in that pocket where you don't need to like bring anybody else on TV that isn't going to be part of the WrestleMania story at this point. Because
and looking at that, there's two names that stand out of people that are on TV every week and are not showcased here, and that's Finn Balor and Dom Mysterio.
Yeah, the Judgment Day have to make their presence somewhere, right? Like, and I mean, there's 3 episodes of Raw left. Are we going to get Dom versus Finn? Like, is that Judgment Day situation going to finally come to a head as they've teased time and time again over the last few months?
I feel like that's a night after Mania decision.
Yeah.
I could very easily see, and because WWE has done this before, one ladder match with both tag titles.
Okay.
So you do you do the Profits, the DIYs, and the Machine Guns, and you do the War Raiders, Dom and Finn, and the New Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's your 6 teams.
That gets a lot of faces on.
Yeah. Charlie says here, ladder match with 4 to 16 for the tag titles makes the most sense.
How many teams were in that one?
Sunday can only go till 10 because of the roast. I think it'll be less matches. What roast?
Oh, they're doing a roast with Kill Tony guy.
Yeah, the roast of WrestleMania.
Well, that doesn't mean they're going to cut the Sunday.
No, it's
shows.
a WWE produced thing. It's not a comedy roast. Like WWE signed off on this.
Right.
And they're selling tickets for it.
Right, but my point is that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to cut the WrestleMania Sunday card short, because let's keep in mind 10 o'clock on the East is 7 o'clock in Vegas.
Yes, so
let's
WrestleMania
keep that in mind.
can go 5 hours, go till 9, and you have an hour to get to the Bellevue Theater.
Yeah, they're not going to cut WrestleMania Sunday short for the roast.
Or the Fountain Bleu.
Because it's the same spot they're doing the Hall of Fame, right?
I don't even know.
Yeah, I think that's the hotel they're doing the Hall of Fame in. Devin says he thinks the US title match will be multi-man. Probably. It's just as of right now, like I just like all of the mid-card titles just have except for the men's IC have kind of just a very cloudy picture for me. Like it just
the men's IC does too. There's like 4 horses.
Yeah, but I feel like this Monday when you had the stare down between Braun and Penta, that to me was like this is the match we're getting.
Yeah, and Chad Gable being left off the card.
Well, he's going to keep doing the lucha masks.
That's
stuff.
not him.
No, who is that?
Come on, Jim. You're better than that.
Come on. I'm just.
I've seen the two of them in the same
Jimmy.
place at the same time.
We have. You're right. Devin says Kevin versus Randy's going to have a stipulation. Probably. It just. I was
WrestleMania. There will be stipulations galore.
I was just getting
rules.
Names on the card.
Anything goes.
Stipulations galore.
Charlie says whatever they're doing with Cross and AJ will probably take place after Mania. Yeah, hopefully. Karrion Kross shouldn't be on WrestleMania. Get the fuck out of here.
You're drunk.
I love Jim's hatred for Karrion Kross.
I can't.
Why do you hate Karrion Kross? He's just jealous of
He's so good.
I can't stand him. Get him and his dumb hair off my TV. Just get him off. I don't.
You know why he's doing that, right?
Why?
Because he's trying to disarm himself to the person that he's talking to. AJ has long, straight hair, so he is trying to make himself look like AJ Styles so that when he talks to him and he tries to indoctrinate him, he is making AJ Styles look in a mirror and see someone that looks like him saying those things. It's mind control. Wake the fuck up.
Oh, you loved it when Bray Wyatt did it. It piss off.
Yeah, don't compare those two. Stop that.
Same cloth.
When he
Big
was
Mac says
Killer
Karrion Cross is my Ricochet.
No, because Karrion Cross will always have a dynamite Jesse Ventura, and as soon as Jim remembers that, he goes, "Actually, I do love him."
That's a great point. All right. That anything else relating to?
I know what Jim's getting for Christmas.
Fucking hell! I hate everything.
Ah,
all right.
Somebody's got a book coming out.
That motherfucker wrote a book.
Sure fucking did.
Cool. I need something to prop up my fucking record cabinet.
Karrion Cross wrote a book.
Yes, he did.
Cool. Yeah, my record stand is a little uneven, so I'll need something to balance it out. So yeah, I'll take that.
We get it.
All right.
You're a heel.
All right, that's gonna do it for this week.
Sorry you went long this week. This is wild. We don't normally go long on a wrestling show.
I'll be taking 3 till Friday morning at this point. But make sure you're following along with us on all of our social media. We're at 3 Count Thursday across the board. You can get us on all podcast platforms, YouTube. You can get our merchandise over on tpublic.com. Make sure you like, subscribe, listen, rate, review wherever you can. Until Tuesday on the podcast side, live back here next Thursday. We hope you stay safe, stay smart, and as always, go for the pin.